Good morning. I've gotten up early this morning to do a little work to my garden, and so I wanted to give you a tour before I started that. And by the way, I'm Jennifer and I'm Minimalist My Way. Thanks for stopping by, and if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe anything that you see that you like, and subscribe so that you can get future videos like this one. I talk about minimalism, frugal living, gardening, canning, saving money, and just basically living better with less. So here's my garden tour. This is basically my garden. I just commandeered a part of my backyard, so the brown fence is the perimeter of my whole backyard. It's not super big, it's just in the suburbs here, but originally we had a problem with my air conditioner in that my dog liked to chew the lines that were going from the air conditioner to the house, which kind of was not funny at the time, but after having it repaired, we went and got these fence pieces. So they're just, they have a piece that you hammer into the ground, and then that connector piece, the rod that goes up and down that has a little ball on top, it goes down into the piece that you hammer into the ground, and then you just put sections of fence into it. There's little rings on all the sections of the fence, and at the top and the bottom, and you can install it really easily that way. So we had it originally just around the air conditioner, and then I bought more and more pieces over the years, and I have fenced in, and then there's some extra pieces over there, and I have fenced in this area of the yard for my garden. And the feature of, a big feature of my garden is the windmill. My husband's grandpa built this windmill, and I just love it that I got it. So I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 raised beds. I bought these raised beds at Sam's Club, I believe, several years ago, and you just pop them on the ground and fill them with dirt. So I did, and then there's the actual dirt of the yard underneath them. So if the plants can go that deep, then they do. And I do apologize for the state of my garden. It is very overgrown and messy right now, but I kind of love that. So in this bed, we had my zucchini plants for the year. I started these zucchini plants from seed that I actually got at the library. My library has a seed library that you can just for free take seeds. So these, I had started some other ones and they didn't make it as seedlings, so I ended up using library seeds for them. So I'm going to be taking those out today because they are done producing for the year. Then in this bed, I know the pumpkins have infiltrated because they've infiltrated everything this year, but this is a German tomato plant that is not thriving at the moment, but you know, it is what it is. So I won't be touching it because I want it to keep growing. But that was the only thing that ended up in that bed. I had planted other things, but they did not grow. And then in this bed, yes, there's the pumpkins again, but I have a pepper plant, a bell pepper plant. And it's a yellow bell pepper plant. So I've got a couple of peppers on there that are yellowing up and a couple that are getting ready to grow a little bit more, and I'm getting even more on top. And then I have a jalapeno pepper plant. And the interesting thing about these two plants is they are actually 2 years old. So last year I cut them down. I grew them actually not this summer, but not this year, but I grew them last year in last year's garden. And I heard about overwintering, where you can actually take plants and cut them down. So like cut almost everything off, so you just have the root and the main stalk and like a couple of little shoots off of there, but basically cut it all down, and you can kind of still see like that. Whoops, like this right here. This is a stalk that I cut off, and actually you can see back there too, this one right here. I actually had cut those off last year and they didn't really come back this year, but the rest of the plant did. So I overwintered both of these, the jalapeno and the bell pepper plant, and so I just cut them down, put them in a pot, brought them in the house, and then just gently watered them and gave them a little bit of sunlight at a windowsill for the whole winter. And it was really neat. I don't think I'll do it again because they didn't grow back super great, but it was an interesting idea. And of course, here's more of the pumpkin plants that have gone insane and crazy, and are still flowering even though the thing looks dead. So let me walk over here. There's another little pumpkin down there. There's a jalapeno I need to take off. Actually, two. Looks like there's another red one too. So I need to take those off because they've been on there way too long. Okay, so this giant mess. These are my cherry tomato plants, and I got them from Baker Heirloom Seeds, and they are called Pink Bumblebee cherry tomatoes, and they are really really yummy, and they're such a pretty color. They kind of have this green, pink, red striping, and then before they turn red, they have the same striping that's green. They're so pretty. They're really prolific. I planted these plants that are obviously very tall, and at the same time that I planted that scrawny thing. So they really took off, and I had 100% deep seed germination as well, which is kind of crazy too, because I planted 4 and 4 grew. Kind of the same thing happened with my pumpkins. So this is actually the pumpkin bed. I only planted 1 bed of pumpkins, but they have branched out and they have gone all the way over there. That was originally supposed to be a salad garden. So in that bed over there next to the tomatoes, I put kale and bok choy and a whole bunch of different salad greens, which did grow, but you can't see them because everything has, our pumpkins have gone crazy. And then next to the pumpkins, where it just looks all weedy, that is actually my potato bed. So there's tons of potatoes down there, and I'm just kind of waiting for the stalks to completely die off. I may harvest those today. I haven't decided, because they've been in there for a while. So that is basically my whole garden that's in the ground. And then also I have these cat litter containers that I just hang on the fence so that they can drain, and I plant other things in them. So can't see it very well, but there's one behind the tomatoes. Let me walk over here. You may not still be able to see it very well, but hi Eddie. Hi buddy. So it's in that one. You can't really see it, but that is carrots. So those have been growing forever, and I accidentally pulled one early, and I was sad because the carrot was super small. So I'll just leave those in there probably until I'm afraid it's going to frost. That one in the corner, I have snapdragons, and they didn't do very well. I forget what I even had in that second one because it didn't grow, or I pulled it out already. And then these 4 are all mums. And I know they kind of look dead, but they're not. They just kind of flowered a little bit early, and then the flowers died off because it wasn't time for them yet. And these also were volunteers, or not also, but these were volunteers that just came up in my pots out front. So I just dug them up, put them in these containers, and I will have like basically free mums this year, because I also grow from seed all of my flowers that I use to decorate the pots in the front yard with. So that's what I'll be doing. Ooh, and let's see, I don't know if you'll be able to see one or not, but I planted 2 varieties of pumpkins. One is just regular pumpkins that are orange, and then these are white pumpkins. And I actually went to a vineyard and got, there's one over there too, but you can't hardly see it, it's down there. I went to a vineyard last fall, and I got a white pumpkin that they had growing there, and I was like, ooh, neato. So I saved the seeds, and I didn't know if I'd be able to grow them or not, but they grew great, and then are now, I have lots of little white pumpkins. And then this one is a big guy. He's a nice size, and he is getting ready to turn all orange. I already harvested one orange one that is in the house, so it's neat. So that's my garden before, so I'm gonna work on it and I'll show you after. This is a very exciting time in the life of a gardener. So this is my potato bed, and it has been sitting for months, and all of the stalks have died off. So I'm going to dig and see if I have any potatoes under here. There's one. That'll make a great seed potato for next year. Oh, there's 2 more. That's a good one. Oh, here's a big one. Oh my gosh. Whoop. Look at that one. Oh my gosh. I'm very excited. Okay, now this little green one, let's see, can you see how green it is? That means that it came up above the ground and wasn't covered with soil. And this one would be basically poisonous to eat. So I'll throw that one away, but here's a teeny tiny little one. I can feel him under here still. Oh my gosh. Look at that guy. He's a good one. I like to, a lot of people will do this with a shovel, but I like to do it, I'll get started with a shovel, but I like to do it with my hands mostly because you can feel the potatoes, and if you jam, you know, a big heavy sharp object in the soil, you might puncture your potatoes. Okay, oh, nope, that was just a big clump of soil. But I see one. see one over here. This one will be good for a seed potato because it's kind of small, and that's how you grow potatoes, is you have to have seed potatoes. So you don't actually have seeds, you actually have little potatoes that you use as your seeds. There's a medium-sized one. And you can, and what you do is you store them, if you are saving the seeds from year to year anyway, or the seed potatoes, you save them through the winter time. So you save them in like a paper bag in a cool place. Oh, I missed one over here. There's one. That's a big one too. Ugh. My fingers always hurt after doing this, and of course I'm really dirty after doing it this way, but you do, you know, I like to feel for the potatoes as much as I can. You can kind of, oh, that one was right under the camera. There's that. There's a good one. It's so much fun. It's like an Easter egg hunt for adults that like gardening and potatoes. This might be all of them that are on this. Well, no, there should be more. Woo! There should be more right here because this was a plant. Woo! This guy's going crazy. Here, why don't you stay up there, buddy? Okay, so there should be some more right over here. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Look how big that one is. Oh my gosh. So much fun. So much fun. I love harvesting potatoes. Looks like that one just kind of made. Oh, I feel another one. There we go. So much fun. All right, I'm gonna continue having this fun. I'll clean up a little bit and I'll show you the garden and what I did to it after I get done having fun with my potatoes. Well, I've been working hard in the garden, so I just wanted to show you my progress. So these are my zucchini plants. I was going to take them out because I thought they were done, but oh, there's a stink bug. Anyway, so I thought they were done, but they're actually budding more. This one's kind of hard to see, but it's budding more, and then this one is too. And this one actually has, you're not gonna be able to see down there, I don't think, but this one actually has another little zucchini growing. So I'm like, all right, buddy, I'll let you keep going. Didn't do a whole lot to these beds since they're okay, but the big change is I weeded the watermelon bed, and now you can, or pumpkin beds, you can actually tell there's supposed to be pumpkins growing there. And then I harvested my potatoes, so, and I did a video of that while I was doing it. So I may go back and do more of those, or go through it again just to make sure I got all the potatoes out, because I don't want to leave any to rot. Look at those happy bees. They're so happy in my, and I'm going to get more pumpkins out of that because they have to cross-pollinate. It's a whole thing. I got to learn all about that this year. So I wanted to show you my I have too many vegetables that start with P. So I wanted to show you my potato harvest. Oh wait, that's not even half of it. I still have another bucket full of giant potatoes. I am so excited. I'm gonna take these in the house and I may weigh a couple and let you know how much they weigh because they're crazy. So that was so much fun. Look how dirty my hand is. I haven't washed it yet because I'm still dealing with these potatoes. So I thought I would weigh the biggest ones. So I have, these two are massive and this one's really big too. So let's see how much they weigh. Okay, this one is a little over 3/4 of a pound. So it's like 14 ounces. Jeez. This one is a pound exactly. So this one is my biggest one so far. This one's not going to be a pound. This one's right at like 13 ounces. So I grew a potato that is 1 whole pound. It's the size of my head. So I've piled up all my potatoes here, and I'm getting ready to sort through them because I save my seed potatoes in a paper bag, and I keep them. It sounds weird, but when they're small like that, they're kind of baby ones, they will, as long as you don't expose them to light or moisture and give them a little bit of oxygen to breathe, they will stay okay until next spring. So I'm gonna sift through these and see which ones I think should be seed potatoes and which ones I can eat now. There was one potato that rotted in the ground, and this can happen if your potato bed is too wet or if you leave them in the ground too long. Obviously, potatoes do not come with a giant potato timer that goes off when you're ready to harvest them, so you just have to guess. And it depends on, you know, so much, your climate, the weather that year, all of that stuff. So you're supposed to pay attention to the stalk, you know, the stalks that grow up from the seed potatoes. You're supposed to definitely wait until they flower, and then sources are different on whether you need to wait just until the flowers are dead or if for the whole stalk to be dead. So this year I waited until most of the stalks were completely dead before I harvested them, and I got some really good yield and a lot of bigger potatoes. There's a lot of really small potatoes too, so I could have probably left them longer, but this one rotted. So once that happens, it can spread to your other potatoes and they can start rotting as well. So I was very lucky that I only had one. So I'm gonna throw that one away for sure. And then as far as seed potatoes go, like there's this little teeny tiny one. I got a couple of these that were just, you know, they've still got the roots attached even, and they're just tiny. So these are a little bit too small to really do anything with, so I'll probably just kind of get rid of them. Every now and then, especially if I have a small yield of potatoes, I will cut those up and make like mashed potatoes with them or something. But this year I have so many, I don't think I'll have to do that. So a good seed potato size. This one is a really good size. I think it's robust enough to make it through the winter. This one's a really good size. So I'm gonna put these, and usually like however many you want to plant, just think about however many you want to plant for next year. So I usually save between 10 and 12 seed potatoes and then eat the rest, or you know, give them away to family and friends or whatever. And that I plant 10 to 12 in one of those raised beds, not the double ones, but actually just one where you saw mine were planted this year. Maybe next year I'll do a double bed. I really like potatoes, and they do last a lot longer than other vegetables, you know, as far as their life before you have to throw them out. But still, there's a lot of, I can only eat so many, so I don't want to do a whole bunch. So I think this was my very smallest one, and then put next to my very biggest one. So I'm either a really bad farmer or a really good one, I don't know. So I'm gonna get to sorting these, and that's about it for my potatoes. So it's been a few days since I harvested all of my potatoes, and I am using all of these little teeny tiny ones that are not super great for eating or baking or anything. I'm just cutting them up, and I'm just gonna make mashed potatoes out of them. So I'm just cutting them up and putting them in a big pot and boiling them and making mashed potatoes the way you normally would. But I mean, they cut really, I'm not peeling them because they're so small that you'd cut your fingers off trying to peel these. So I'm just leaving the skins on everything. That's not how I super love mashed potatoes, but it's good for you, certainly. And like I said, it's just really hard to peel these little tiny ones. That was my dog Clark trying to say something. So That's what I have when I have too many potatoes or potatoes that are weird size. I just wanted to show you the first batch of mashed potatoes that is done. And I still have quite a few potatoes left. I did all the teeny tiny ones and really small ones in that batch. So I have enough to probably do at least one more batch, probably two more with these. And I do have some more other potatoes that I could pop in there to make a full batch. So that's just what I do when I have way too many potatoes on hand. And what I'll do is I'll probably leave one batch in the refrigerator and eat it over the next few days. And then I put cooled mashed potatoes in Ziploc freezer bags and then like flatten them out and freeze them that way. And they don't take up hardly any room in the freezer. They're fantastic. And then you just thaw them out and eat them as you need mashed potatoes over the next few weeks. It's fantastic. Or you can keep them, you know, as long as you need or see fit. I also have, this is the only German tomato that I have gotten so far off of my plant, and it's kind of got a lot of soft spots and weird things on it. So I'm gonna slice it up, eat what I can, and then get the seeds out of there for next year, because I didn't have very many German tomato seeds because they were gifted to me from a friend, so I only got a few. So I want to get a good seed stockpile. And the same thing with this cherry tomato. I have gobs and gobs and gobs of cherry tomatoes, but that one fell off and it's just all squishy, so I'm gonna get the seeds out of it too. But let me show you as well. So my jalapenos went crazy, and my husband pulled all of these jalapenos off of my jalapeno plant. Clark, just wait a moment and I'll let you out in a moment. He's like, the heck with you. So this is what happens to jalapenos when they are like too ripe, and you can still eat this or cook with it or whatever, but don't be alarmed. I was really alarmed when my jalapenos turned red the first year. I'm like, what's wrong with them? They're supposed to be green. But that's just what happens when they get a little too ripe or stay on the vine a little too long, but they're still edible. And you can put them in salsas or on salad. Yum, yum, yum. And then this was one more zucchini that my plant put out. And then these are just the latest harvest of cherry tomatoes. And then I wanted to show you as well. I harvested pumpkins. I harvested 2 pumpkins the other day, and they are awesome. And I've probably got a few more pumpkins that I'm going to harvest, and I've got white pumpkins out there too for the first year that I'm going to harvest. So awesome and fun in the garden. Thanks so much for watching my video on my garden tour and potato harvest. Hopefully this has shown you that you can have a very minimal garden. It doesn't have to cost a lot. It doesn't have to take up a lot of your time, but the rewards are really bountiful, I guess. You saw how my garden was just a raised bed that you just slap together and put a few bags of dirt in, and you have a garden. You're a gardener. So if you have kids or just want to have a closer relationship with the food that you eat, I would highly recommend starting a garden. It is a lot of fun. As always, be minimalist your way, and if you would like and subscribe, that would be great. See you next time.